5 tips to improve your live streaming game to help you become a better entertainer, a more successful live streamer. Now I'm gonna do my best to not give you the tips that you've been hearing all over the internet, like, hey, you should read chat. Yes, of course, you should know that. You know that, right? I'm actually gonna be giving multiple tips per category, so it's gonna be 5 main categories and then a bunch of tips within said category. But I also want to keep it short, so let's start with what I call the bonus tip, which is today's sponsor. And this video is sponsored by Own3dPRO. Own3dPRO is known to give you overlays, alerts, widgets, everything you need to start your stream, but they just came up with something pretty awesome. They just dropped a feature that allows your viewers to trigger sound alerts, but also visual alerts that will show up on your screen, not just in OBS, not just on stream, but on your whole monitor. Basically, you want to find this extension on Twitch, and the installation is pretty easy. You'll need to connect to your Own3dPRO account and configure the extension from there. Add a browser source for the sound alerts, then choose if you want sound only or also the visuals. You will need to download and install the software for the visuals. It installed super fast. Now, since it's showing on your screen, if you're not using display capture, you will need to add an additional browser source link so they can see it too. All right, let's add it as a panel. Then pick the effects that you would like to make available to your viewers. You can even preview them. Drag them to extension to add them to the extension. So it'll look like this, and drag them to the bottom for channel point rewards, and it'll show up here. And if you need any help, check out the quick setup guide. So click the link in the description and set it up for your stream. Now, the first tip is about audience participation, and this doesn't mean just read chat and talk to chat. The idea here is to keep the audience engaged, to keep the viewers actively participating throughout the whole stream. You can do that through interactive games. There's games like Quiplash. I listed them all in one of my videos. There's Act It Out. There's, you know, those games. Words on Stream, Gartic on Phone. Basically games that require chat's input. You can do polls that they have to participate in, and you do them frequently. You can do it through interactive widgets. You can do it through social media posts. You can be like, hey guys, I just posted this on Twitter. Go give it a like, or go answer that poll that I made on Twitter, or go participate to that giveaway that I'm doing on Twitter. For example, keeping the audience engaged is basically going to create this routine where they are actively participating in the stream. It's not just entertainment that they can just sit back, relax, and watch and just skip. It becomes part of their daily routine. It becomes this activity that they participate in. Implementing participation, such as viewer games, for example, is something that I personally use to grow my channel because those people became regulars. Check out my How to Grow on Twitch playlist where I go more in depth about this thing. Second tip is, believe it or not, upgrade your gear. But wait, it doesn't mean pour money into gear senselessly. There are 2 main things that you need to think about when upgrading your gear. One is, how is it going to affect the stream directly? And 2, how convenient is it going to make my life as a content creator or an entertainer or a live streamer? If you've been streaming for a little bit and you've made a little bit of money with streaming, what I would advise you to do is actually automate the whole process of going live. If you have a bunch of lights, you have a bunch of devices, things that you have to turn on manually, you can go for automation. You can go for something that is voice controlled, that is compatible with your home assistant. That's advice that I should take. I have a bunch of lights that I still need to turn on manually. Something like the Elgato's ecosystem is very, very practical because just with your Stream Deck, something that's sitting on your desk all the time, you can just press a couple of buttons and control everything. When it comes to the other category, gear that will affect the viewer's experience, you know, we're talking about audio, the most important thing. Second thing is going to be lighting, before camera actually, because a bad camera with good lighting will still look decent versus a great camera with crappy lighting. If the only light in your room is your screen and your overhead light bulb, spending a ton of money on a new camera is just gonna show us clearly just how bad your lighting looks. Watch my video on how to improve your webcam quality. Number 3 is monetize appropriately. You know, one of the advice that I give is to have a highly monetized live stream, but you have to do it the right way so it doesn't feel like off-putting. One of the best ways that you can implement this is through your alerts. Basically, you need to adapt your alerts in function of their rarity. If you're a very small channel and you don't get donations often and your donation alert sounds like bloop, and that's it, there's nothing wrong with that, but people would rather spend their money on a smaller channel that has an extravagant donation alert. So the length, the size it's gonna take on screen, and basically all of that, it needs to be a big deal when you get even $1 if you're starting out as a streamer. And then as you grow, you can adapt. I used to have follower alerts that would last 10 seconds because getting follows was super rare for me.
Thank you for the follow, my friend. Welcome to Get Level Stream.
Now my goal is to make them as unintrusive as possible. Another thing is that channel points redeems are really great, but if they keep interrupting the stream and spamming it, might as well put them behind bits. Another great tip when it comes to monetizing your stream is to set up a Throne account. And I know I said that a lot, but seriously, we talked about how upgrading your gear, you should think about gear that will affect the stream directly. This is one of the best ways to do it, even if you're broke. So basically promising your viewers that the next thing that they fund will improve the stream quality is a win-win for everyone. Number 4, avoid the variety trap. And I'm not gonna tell you to not be a variety streamer, okay? I would be like very hypocritical to say that, for I am a variety streamer myself. The thing with being a variety streamer, and I know it's easier said than done, is conducting the viewer's focus. If you know that you're going to be changing games, basically, the value of your stream needs to solely be on you, and you need to present you way more. It's going to be difficult for your audience to keep up if you keep switching games, right? Your core community is not going to be, oh, a group of fans of that specific game. It's going to be a group of fans of you. So the first tip is something you already heard. Try to do just chatting, at least 30 minutes of just chatting before the stream and at the end of the stream, right? In the middle, you can put some gameplay. That creates a certain bond that you're not going to have if you just start, play the game, and then leave. The second tip is when you get raided, well, there's no host anymore. When you get raided, I would advise to actually go to your just chatting scene. Pause the stream straight up, bring it back to the just chatting scene. You have a bunch of new people who don't know who you are, and you need to basically sell the stream to them. So showing you, because the stream is, you know, variety stream is about you, talking to them a little bit, basically showing the audience that you're bringing your whole attention to them for a little bit again, is a good way to keep them engaged. If you keep switching from the game to yourself, basically part of your audience that potentially don't like that specific game will still watch because, well, from time to time, you're directly talking to chat. So just keep in mind, the focus is going to be on you. Don't put your camera super small over the gameplay. It needs to be big because your reaction is the only thing that counts in that case. And then number 5, audience versus content. And the principle here is about a tip that, you know, even myself have been giving a lot is, hey, rewatch your VOD, improve your content. Improve your content. Try to be better. Can you be a better content creator if you watch your VODs and you just fix the mistakes? The thing is, studying the audience is going to be more valuable than studying the content. By the way, you should be doing both. But knowing exactly what your audience tend to prefer? But knowing exactly what your audience tend to prefer by running some tests will allow you to make content that directly caters to them rather than improving on content that they already don't vibe with. So basically you need to run some tests. For a month, for example, you could try different activities, different formats, different games, and also run some polls to gather the opinion of your audience. And then you just analyze the statistics. Okay, they tend to prefer when I do this, they tend to prefer that type of game, they tend to prefer this and that. Of course, you will do this once you already kind of gathered a community, but you can still do this pretty early on. Now, as usual for those videos, I need to tell you that there are no rules for live streaming, for entertainment in general. There really are no rules. People can be like, audio is super important, and then you'll have one of the top streamers with a horrible mic who keeps screaming into it. And that's like funny, that's great, that's praised. People would hate if that streamer got a better mic. As long as you're still passionate about being a live streamer. But don't lie to yourself. If every time you go live you have the worst time of your life, maybe you should, you know, pick up another hobby. But to be fair, if you made it that long in the video, you're probably still passionate about it. So make sure you follow me on Twitch, for example. And I will see you next time. Go out there, make me proud. Get level, out.